Hello, good morning, and welcome to another Momentum Monday. Welcome. Today is also in the US a holiday, Martin Luther King's Day. And today I thought it was most fitting for our topic that we have, which is all about creating your goal visualization journey. And it's more than a vision board. More than a vision board. So I'll be having, after today's Momentum Monday, I will be also doing a live on Instagram. So I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. But again, my name is Emily McHugh. Welcome, the Supercharged Coach. It's all about building sustainable businesses while avoiding burnout, which is a very real thing that we really do experience, and we have to make every effort to minimize or avoid it. So at this time of year, it's all about goal setting, having a new vision for the future, having a new vision for the new year. And I think that there's certain steps that tend to be missing from this goal creation journey that we embark on at in the new year principally. And so we hear a lot about vision boards and having that image in your mind of what you want to see, what you want to believe. If you just look at it, you can experience it and all of that. And all of those things have its place. And I firmly believe in having the proper images in front of you, having your goals in a visual context. But there's certain key steps that have to be taken in addition to just looking at your goals. Okay, so today I wanted to dive a little bit into this concept a little bit more, and I want you to let me know what you think, your thoughts on setting goals, vision boards, visualization, and all of this. And at first I had a little challenge of coming up with the title, and I kept changing the title from visualization map to road map and all these kinds of things. So excuse me, whatever you want to call it, the point is it really is a journey. It is a journey. It is a process. And anything that has to do with a goal by default has to do with a process. And so what tends to be overlooked many times is the process. And we focus on the goal and what it would look like and manifesting this and that, but there's a process that gets you there. And there are some gurus who will say, don't worry about the how. The how will take care of itself. That's all well and good. That's all well and good. But the how starts with the first step. So I'm going to share 3 key tips today on this process, and I hope that you'll find it beneficial to you. So here we go. So the first one is a belief. And believing is a very broad word with a lot of depth. So you obviously have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you see. Is it really possible? Is it something that is attainable? And even if it's not attainable, do you believe it could be attained even if you don't know how? Even if you don't know how. So many times we tend to dismiss a goal or dismiss a vision because we don't know how we're going to do it. But it doesn't mean you ignore how. It means you may not know how. You may not know all the steps. But the question to ask yourself is, can I take the first step? Can I take that first step? And so it really is all about the first step and believing in what you're doing. And I mentioned earlier that it is indeed today Martin Luther King Day, depending on when you're watching this. And Martin Luther King believed in his vision. He believed in his dream, and he believed in the possibility despite the incredible obstacles he faced. And I'm currently reading his autobiography, as a matter of fact. Actually, I bought it months ago, and I picked it up this morning to kind of look at it for some inspiration. And every page is about the struggle of the opposition to his vision for equality and human rights and civil rights. And there's a point in here where he talks about it being so unbearable that he felt weak and that he was losing his faith or his drive, and that he couldn't appear weak in front of other people because then they would lose their drive to lose their momentum. And so that's what I want to go into more when I do my IG live a little later this morning. I want to talk a bit more about that you can believe it, but that doesn't mean you don't have obstacles. But you have to start with that, because the first obstacle you have to conquer is you. You're your first obstacle, and you're also your last obstacle, by the way. So that's the first one. You have to have that belief. You really do. The next thing, so I want to show you you can call it a vision board if you want, but I call it a goal visualization chart. And I like to do everything in quadrants. And I did this for this whole Supercharged Club journey that you know I'm on, launched this month. Our next meeting is Thursday, by the way, on the 19th, January 19th. And this whole process of kind of seeing the big picture. So I thought I would share a little bit of with you that right now. So here is a goal visualization 2023 for this very specific concept of the Supercharged Club. And I divided it into 4 sections. I did this in Canva. You can do this on paper. You can do it, you know, any which way you like. But this way, I divided into 4 key things: content, the members, the experience, and the systems. The content you want to create. Now, by the way, this is not a complete vision board. I have to tell you, it's not a complete visualization chart. It's kind of a little skeleton one, but just to give you the concept. And so, you know, the content you want to create, the members you want to have, the experience you want people to have, and the systems that it takes to run. So I encourage you, if you have a goal, you write your key goal, what it is, put numbers by it, and put a date by it. Okay, that's very key in the whole goal visualization process. And then delineate the I always like to break it down to 4. There may be more things, but I can guarantee you if you have a quadrant, you can always find where to put what you need to put in one of those quadrants. So for me, as I said, it's the content, the members, the experience, and the systems that it takes to do. So if you have a goal, try this. Try putting it in a quadrant and see if you can break it down in this way. And for me, the thing that brings it all together is alignment. Are you creating alignment between all of these things and between what you're believe in and what you're about? Can you create that alignment for your vision? That everything lines up in a way that resonates well with you. So that's a little overview of what a vision chart can look like, or one version of it. And really put images that capture what you're trying to create. Again, for me, I have more things I want to put on this. I'll probably do a part 2 of this. All right, so now let's go to number 2, tip number 2. So the first one is be willing. Number 1 is believe. Number 2 is be willing. Be willing to do what? Be willing to commit to what you believe. Be willing to commit to your goal. And this is something, when I was reading again Dr. King's book, he mentioned 2 key words that are absolutely critical for this to happen. The first word he said is diligence, and the second one was dignity. And that one gave me pause, because we know that diligence is critical and necessary for bringing anything worthwhile to fruition. But dignity, can you do it with dignity? As opposed to complaining the whole time, griping the whole time when things aren't going right or going wrong. Can you do it with grace and dignity? That is worthy of reflection. Yes, it is. And yeah, dignity and discipline. As a matter of fact, he says we must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. And he put dignity first. And I think as entrepreneurs, that is also precisely what we need. We need to maintain dignity in this process, because it can be undignified at times when you're stressed and overwhelmed. But then you take those very deep breaths. And then, of course, Dr. King was a pastor. He was a minister, Baptist minister, and he cried out to God. He says, things are getting very tough for me. I'm willing. I believe I'm willing. But look at all the opposition that I'm enduring. And so I encourage you as an entrepreneur as well. You may have maybe not life-threatening situation that he was in, and certainly not to minimize in any way what having daily threats on your life is and your family is a whole other situation than starting a business. But the struggle is similar in terms of what you feel and what you experience, and in terms of not maybe doubting whether your journey is worthwhile, whether doubting whether what you're doing is up to snuff. Okay, that was, let me just switch that. Yeah, so sometimes we can doubt, and you have to be willing to not doubt. Okay, all right, so you've got to believe. All right, let me just fix this here, a little technical switcheroo. Okay, we'll just do it that way. I don't know why that did that. Anyway, let's not get distracted by the technology. Okay, yes, you have to be willing. And then the third thing is you have to be brave. You have to be brave. And being an entrepreneur requires courage, because you have to withstand naysayers, you have to withstand doubters, and the voices in your head that can otherwise derail you or make you think that your fight isn't really worth it. And you have to be careful of small minds who don't understand your journey, who can't really see what you see. And you have to fight for your dream. You really do. You have to fight for your dream. And as we said, Dr. King, he had a dream and he fought for it. And it cost him almost everything, but it was willing to fight for. So the question to ask yourself, are you willing to fight for your dream? Are you willing to fight for your vision, to exercise the persistence and the perseverance that it takes to carry it through to fruition, to full fruition? So there's a lot more I can say on this topic, because there's so many things that it can spin off from, and I will share more as we go along. But I want you to just keep in mind a couple things as we wrap up this morning, is that when you have this mindset that there's always a solution, that if you have a vision for something, that means it is worth pursuing, and that you develop this self-discipline that you will cultivate over time, that you will address whatever comes your way in a systematic process. You may not have all the answers, you may not know how you're going to do everything, but you are willing to take the first step. So the summary of these three key tips in creating your goal visualization journey is that number one, you have to believe in your vision, that it's valid and worthwhile. Number two, be willing to commit to it and doing what it takes to see that vision through. And number three, be brave. Be brave with what may come your way, that you're willing to have the courage and you're willing to fight for your dream, because the last thing you want is to have your dream happen without you. Don't let your dream happen without you. If it's your dream, live your dream, fulfill your dream, enjoy your dream, and fight for your dream. So with that deserves, yes, it does. You have to fight for your dream. I know I couldn't have one episode without it. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining me again for another episode of Momentum Monday. I invite you to subscribe, comment, share. Let me know. Tell me about your dreams, your goals, your thoughts on this whole process of being willing and being brave and believing and so forth. So a few things on here. If you don't have my book already, get it on Amazon, Little Girl's Guide to Entrepreneurship. If you haven't joined the Supercharge Club, this is the time. We have our second meeting this week. It's a wonderful experience where we help develop your dream. And January is all about the dream, all about your business idea and what it takes to cultivate that and to really think it through so that you can really bring to life your vision for yourself. And then finally, if you're not also receiving the Supercharge Weekly newsletter, I encourage you to subscribe, get on the mailing list so you get this weekly encouragement in your inbox, letting you know that you can keep going. And that you can get at emilymchugh.com/free gift. And you can get on the newsletter, plus get a wonderful download with positive mindset tips to keep you supercharged through your entrepreneurial journey. So again, thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next week. And join me over on Instagram. I'm going to go live there and talk a little bit more about the dream. Have a great week.